perfect. Yay! Good to see everybody. Hello, Hare Krishna, dear friends. So good to see all of you. This is See Through, your podcast with me. My name is Achyuta Gopi. If you are new here, thank you for joining. If you are a regular here, thank you for coming back and making sure that I am not alone in this endeavor. We this week have embarked on a yajna, a spiritual sacrifice. Sometimes we think that yajnas are things that only happened way, way back thousands of years ago, but no, we have embarked on one, all of us together. This reciting Krishna's pastimes, reading about them, hearing about them is a yajna. And it is for the good of the entire world. Sometimes we think, oh, there are so many places in the world that need prayers. How can we pray for all of them? How can we solve all of the problems of this material creation? This is how we do it, by gathering together and making this commitment to perform these kind of sacrifices, these yajnas, these wonderful recitations. So we've had our own kind of like Bhagavat Sapta this past week. With Srila Prabhupada at the head of our ship, leading us. We've taken some shelter of Garga Samhita and Garga Muni. Today we are going to be taking shelter of another really incredible, special Vaishnav Acharya or teacher or saint, all of the above, whose name is Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He's magnificent. They say that in the divine realm of Gokula, he takes the form of a Kalpavriksha tree, and he happens to hear many of the ongoing conversations and pastimes of the divine couple, Shri Radha and Krishna. He was a great commentator. He did such a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. He was also the guru of Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan, who also wrote the Govinda Bhashya, which helped to establish Gaudiya Vaishnav principles within the realm of different Vaishnav sects, which was a huge deal, and which was something that I gave a class on many, many months ago. I'll see if I can find that lecture and kind of link it so that we all can find out about Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Sri Baladev Vidyabhushan, because they are worth knowing. But he has done a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam known as Sarartha Darshani. And it is from this 10th canto that we'll be diving into a veritable ocean of sweetness for the second half of this session. So for the first half, we will be reading from Krishna book, because we started our sacrifice with that. We are going to continue with it. Srila Prabhupada has given so much of himself in this commentary. This is his devotional ecstasy. So we'll read the words of Srila Prabhupada, our fearless leader, who has given Krishna to all of us, whether we think we deserved it or not. Srila Prabhupada did not care. And he was ridiculed a great deal for it. But he decided to give us Krishna anyway. So we'll be reading from Krishna book for the first half. And then for the second half, we will be diving into Sarartha Darshani. And this Sarartha Darshani, in case you don't know, can be found on Amazon. There are many volumes, so you want to look for the 10th canto, because there are volumes for all of them. And I was just telling my friends in the Patreon Zoom room that I kind of can't live without this Sarartha Darshani. I cannot live without it. It has helped me understand Bhagavatam so much, because every purport, and you'll see it, he draws out the mind of Krishna. I have not seen anybody who is able to draw out the inner workings of the mind of Govinda so much. It is an invaluable resource. So today, if you do anything, I would say head on over to Amazon and get the Kindle version, because it is so worth it. So as a sacrifice has so many different attendees and sages, you have all now assembled. Thank you for assembling in this place of pilgrimage, which has now become a place of pilgrimage. The whole virtual web has become a place of pilgrimage because we are using it in Krishna's service. And how amazing is that? So thank you for assembling, all of you esteemed guests, whether on YouTube or on Zoom. And I'm seeing all of our regulars. Thank you, really, really, really. Thank you for being with me every day this week. This is no small thing to carve out this much time to spend with me and with Krishna and with Srila Prabhupada and with all of our Vaishnavacharyas. So you all are doing the best welfare work for the entire planet, the entire creation. So it is as simple as now diving in and transporting ourselves with Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I feel like the whole atmosphere has changed. Just with that one. That's all we need. So now we are going to dive back into Krishna book and we are starting a new chapter. We are starting chapter 14. These are the prayers of Brahma to Lord Krishna. And this I've kind of entitled Brahma Reveals His Heart, because we get a chance to now see into the heart of Lord Brahma, this first one of the first created beings. And he has seen everything. He was instrumental in creating everything. And he has given us amazing prayers to Krishna already in the form of Brahma Samhita, which some of us have sung daily, at least in the morning when we greet the Lord of our heart. And if we remember nothing else, we can remember just one line, Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship, I adore Govinda, the primeval Lord, Lord of our hearts. So Lord Brahma has given us so many prayers already. He has command over the Gayatri mantras. He's given us innumerable prayers, but now he's about to give us some more prayers. Prayers that speak to the inner mysteries and secrets of his own heart. Are we ready? Let's do it, because first half we gotta go through in order to dive into the second half and get even more involved with what Lord Brahma is saying. Chapter 14. Prayers offered by Lord Brahma to Lord Krishna. Now Brahma had previously stolen all the boys and calves. He created some mischief. He found out that his plans were all foiled, and now he's come back to try and make amends. And he is giving all of us a glimpse into his humility. Lord Brahma said, "My dear Lord, you are the only worshipful Supreme Lord, personality of Godhead. Therefore, I am offering my humble obeisances and prayers just to please you. Your bodily features are the color of clouds filled with water. You are glittering with a silver electric aura emanating from your yellow garments." So I like these prayers. If ever we are confused or we feel like we don't know what to pray, we have innumerable prayers within Srimad Bhagavatam that we can just read from to start us off. Sometimes we feel like, I don't even know where to start. We start with their prayers and then we just continue expressing our own hearts. Let me offer my respectful, repeated obeisances unto the son of Maharaj Nanda, who is standing before me with conch shell, earrings, and peacock feather on his head. His face is beautiful. He is wearing a helmet, garlanded by forest flowers, and he stands with a morsel of food in his hand. He is decorated with a cane, a bugle, and he carries a buffalo horn and flute. He stands before me with small lotus feet. Come on. That's adorable. So adorable. If nothing else, we can remember the Lord standing before us with tiny lotus feet. That always makes me think of our deities, because our deities have very, very small forms, and they're really adorable and sweet and little, and they have tiny little lotus feet. I offer my obeisances to those tiny little feet, from which have manifested the shelter of the entire universe. All from tiny lotus feet. Amazing. My dear Lord, people may say that I am the master of all Vedic knowledge, and I am supposed to be the creator of this universe. But it has been proved now that I cannot understand your personality, even though you are present before me just like a child. You are playing with your boyfriends, calves, and cows, which might imply that you do not even have sufficient education. Right? The Lord hasn't even gone to school yet. He's under 5. You are appearing just like a village boy, carrying your food in your hand and searching for your calves, and yet there is so much difference between your body and mine that I cannot estimate the potency of your body. As I have already stated in the Brahma Samhita, your body is not material. Srila Prabhupada now writes, in the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the body of the Lord is all spiritual. There is no difference between the Lord's body and his self. Each limb of his body can perform the actions of all others. The Lord can see with his hands. He can hear with his eyes. He can accept offerings with his legs, and he can create with his mouth. And to this, I, Achyuta Gopi, often think about the fact that he can love through his holy name. Brahma continued, your appearance as a cowherd child is for the benefit of the devotees, and although I have committed offenses at your lotus feet by stealing away your cows, boys, and calves, I can understand that you have mercy upon me. That is your transcendental quality. You are very affectionate toward your devotees. In spite of your affection for me, I cannot estimate the potency of your bodily activities. It is to be understood that when I, Lord Brahma, the Supreme Personality of this universe, cannot estimate the childlike body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then what to speak of others? And if I cannot estimate the spiritual potency of your childlike body, then what can I understand about your transcendental activities and pastimes? So if we feel like the transcendental activities of Krishna go over our head, it's okay. We're not the only ones. Even Lord Brahma is saying, I can conceive of everything, but I can't understand this. So it's okay. Therefore, as it is said in the Bhagavad Gita, anyone who can understand a little of the transcendental pastimes, appearance and disappearance of the Lord becomes immediately eligible to enter into the kingdom of God after quitting the material body. This statement is also confirmed in the Vedas, and it is stated simply, by understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can overcome the chain of repeated birth and death. I therefore recommend that people should not try to understand you by their speculative knowledge. The best process of understanding you is to submissively give up the speculative process and try to hear about you, either from yourself or as you have given statements in the Bhagavad Gita and many similar Vedic literatures, or from a realized devotee who has taken shelter at your lotus feet. One has to hear from a devotee without speculation. One does not even need to change his worldly position. He simply has to hear your message. Although you are not understandable by the material senses, simply by hearing about you, one can gradually conquer the nescience of misunderstanding. This is us. We've done it. We don't have to do anything else. We can just gather together and hear. I was listening to a lecture recently. Gaur Govinda Maharaj was saying, to enter into the spiritual realm, just like anywhere, we need a visa and passport. He was in Australia at the time. He said, can I enter into Australia without a visa and passport? No. First I have to apply, then the High Commission has to grant me a visa. He said, is there any High Commission in the spiritual world? Who's going to grant me a visa? I said, of course. So what is our visa and our passport? So our visa and our passport is spoken about by Krishna himself in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Janma karma cha me divyam. One who understands the nature of my appearance and activities. That's the visa and the passport. Who can grant us this visa and passport? The Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotees. This is the high commission that we are seeking. How do we gain entrance into the heart of our divine friend? We are constantly searching for it, right? How can I know you? This is it. Simply hearing. The first time we may feel like, I didn't understand that. The second time we might feel like, I did not understand that. But the third time, that submissive nature within our hearts, that determination to continue hearing, despite the obstacles, even of our mind saying, we did not understand that. We should just put the book down and go to sleep, actually. The more that we battle through those obstacles of the mind and surrender ourselves, the more Krishna sees, that person wants to know. And then Krishna grants us our visa and our passport. That is a visa and a passport that can never be taken away. It never even expires. We apply once, Krishna grants it, and then we don't even have to renew it. Krishna remembers, and he grants us entrance into his personal abode. Lord Brahma is giving us the secret and the mystery. It's as simple as hearing. He's saying, I can think about everything. I spend my existence thinking about everything. Brahma has so many heads because he's thinking about everything. Right? He's conceptualizing everything with his 4 heads. He's always thinking. There is nobody who's going to think more than Lord Brahma. And he's saying, the thinking has not gotten me to understand you, Krishna. I have to simply surrender myself and hear about it and understand that this is inconceivable. Our word of the week, inconceivable, but it's okay. Because we get the reward. All we have to do is hear from the Lord or his representative. And we have so many. Hearing from one who has taken shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. Well, if that isn't what Srila Prabhupada's name means, Abhay Charanaravinda. One who is fearless, having taken shelter of our Govinda's lotus feet. We have come to take shelter of Srila Prabhupada this day. And we've come to somehow plead our case to the high commission of the spiritual abode, so that maybe we just hear a little, just a little, about the nature and the pastimes of the loving heart of the Supreme Person, so that this day we can gain our visa and our passport into the kingdom of the Supreme Person. By your grace only, you become revealed to a devotee. You are unconquerable by any other means. Speculative knowledge without any trace of devotional service is simply a useless waste of time in search for you. This is Brahma, who has spent his life, which is very long, right? We went through the math about Brahma's one day and his one moment being like a year for us. This personality has spent his life thinking. And he's saying it's simply a useless waste of time in search for you. Brahma is telling us, he's giving us a shortcut. He's like, don't do what I did. Don't spend all of this time thinking that the speculative knowledge is going to get us the heart of the Supreme Person. We need grace. We need Krishna's favor. It is up to his own desire and sweet will when he reveals himself to us. And the trick is to become simple at heart. We can't think our way through it. Devotional service is so important that even a little attempt can raise one to the highest perfectional platform. We spoke about this yesterday. One should not therefore neglect this auspicious process of devotional service and take to the speculative method. By the speculative method, one may gain partial knowledge of your cosmic manifestation, But it is not possible to understand you, the origin of everything. The attempt of persons who are interested only in speculative knowledge is simply wasted labor, like the labor of a person who attempts to gain something by beating the empty husk of a rice paddy. A little quantity of paddy can be husked by the grinding wheel, and one can gain some grains of rice, but if the skin of the paddy is already beaten by the grinding wheel, there's no further gain in beating the husk. It is simply useless labor. My dear Lord, there are many instances in the history of human society where a person, after failing to achieve the transcendental platform, engaged himself in devotional service with his body, mind, and words, and thus attained the highest perfectional state of entering into your abode. Once again, as our visa and our passport. The processes of understanding you by speculative or mystic meditation are all useless without devotional service. At the heart of Lord Brahma, the great thinker, is devotional service. Something that we have free range to do every day. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. How incredible. Lord Brahma is thinking, I've done everything. I've created, I've thought, I've expounded on prayers, I've done tapasya. And at the heart, these 9 processes of devotional service are more dear to him than anything else. How fortunate are we that every day we have the opportunity to embark on the processes of devotional service. Hearing, chanting, remembering, serving the lotus feet, offering arti, offering prayers, becoming a friend, a servitor, offering one's complete self. That's it. There's no hard and fast rules. We can remember at any time, any place, any moment. We can think of Krishna. We can offer prayers at any point, any time, any moment. And those prayers can be as simple as, oh my Krishna, thank you. That's it. Thank you is a prayer. Gratitude is a prayer. Oh my dear Krishna, how I love you today is a prayer we can all pray. Even if we think, I know I still have a long way to go, but today I love you. That's all we need. And all we need is just to keep doing that every day. I know I have so long to go, but today I love you. This is at the heart of Lord Brahma. How mind-blowingly amazing. I will say this is about the 3rd time or 4th time that I've read this. 3rd time maybe on a live that I've read this. And the first 2 times, it did not register quite like this. Sometimes it takes hearing again and again. Again and again, just hear it again and again and again, and one day it will click. It's like practicing an instrument. You ever start practicing an instrument and you sound terrible? And somehow you keep going with the process, and one day it starts to sound like the actual instrument. The same as with these pastimes and the understanding of Krishna. We go again and again and again. I didn't get it. Okay, let's try again. Again and again we go. And one day, Krishna decides to have mercy upon us. He reveals himself and says, okay, I'll let you in on a little secret. We are being let in on a secret. One should therefore engage himself in your devotional service, even in his worldly activities. And one should always keep himself near you by the process of hearing and chanting your transcendental glories. Exactly what we've been doing all week. Simply by being attached to hearing and chanting your glories, one can attain the highest perfectional stage and enter into your kingdom. I can tell you that this is even true, even for us. Enmeshed, embodied as we are, I find myself being more and more excited every day. Each day that I commit to showing up, I feel more excited. Each day that I commit to this process, it gets sweeter and sweeter. These prayers get sweeter and sweeter. Prayers that I have overlooked get sweeter and sweeter. And I would encourage all of us on our own time to read them from the Srimad Bhagavatam. These were the last chapters that Srila Prabhupada worked on before he wrapped up all of the worldly pastimes and left. So the pastime of Aghasura and the bewilderment of Brahma, these were all of these, and these prayers are the last chapters that he worked on in Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is worth reading to see the divine ecstasies that are hidden within those purports that Srila Prabhupada was experiencing. What a present, what a gift that Srila Prabhupada thought to share his inner realizations. It is a courageous thing to do. It's not easy to put your heart out there. It is not easy for Brahma to put his heart out there and then to forever say, yes, I did this thing, I'm not proud of it. And then offered all of these prayers and gratitude to the Lord's compassionate mercy upon me. It's not easy to humble oneself from now till the end of time. My incredible obeisances and gratitude go to Lord Brahma for allowing himself to play this role in this pastime. Simply by being attached to hearing and chanting your glories, one can attain the highest perfectional stage and enter into your kingdom. If a person, therefore, always keeps in touch with you by hearing and chanting your glories and offers the results of his work for your satisfaction only, he very easily and happily attains entrance into your supreme abode. So how do we keep in touch with Krishna? It's like when you have a friend you really like, you keep in touch with them, you write to them often, you try and figure it out. So all we need is to hear and chant the glories of our friend and offer the results of what we do for the satisfaction of our friend. And that is how we keep in touch with Krishna. You are realizable by persons who have cleansed their hearts of all contamination. This cleansing of the heart is made possible by chanting and hearing the glories of your lordship. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written in the Bhajan Rahasya, the mysteries of chanting the holy name, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead does something extraordinary. He knows that we have to cleanse the heart. But how? Sometimes we can't even clean ourselves when we're so covered. He says, the holy name takes an unprecedented form as a street sweeper. That is not a very esteemed position. But the holy name takes the form of a street sweeper and enters within the many pathways of the heart and begins to take up the tireless task of cleaning our hearts, establishing the temple of the heart, cleaning that great Singhasan of the heart. And then, once the heart is cleansed, the Lord of the heart appears there dressed in brilliantly effulgent yellow robes. And he takes his seat as the rightful ruler of our hearts and our lives. So Lord Brahma is saying that we have to clean our hearts, and sometimes we think, but I can't do that on my own. No problem. As we chant the holy name descends into our lives and cleans it for us. We don't ever have to worry that we do it on our own. We are never alone. Shri Nam Prabhu Ki Jai. The Lord is all pervading. As it is stated by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, everything is sustained by me, but at the same time, I am not in everything. Since the Lord is all pervading, there is nothing existing without his knowledge. The all-pervasive nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead can never be within the limited knowledge of the living entity. Therefore, a person who has attained steadiness of the mind by fixing the mind on the lotus feet of the Lord is able to understand the Supreme Lord to some extent. It is the business of the mind to wander over various subject matters of sense gratification. So sometimes we think, we get really hard on ourselves. Why can't I keep my mind steady? We think, right? Like that's the mark of a pure devotee. They just kept their mind steady and somehow or other, I'm never going to get there. But Srila Prabhupada is saying it's the business of the mind. This is the characteristic of the mind. That's what the mind does. Whether you are an ant or Brahma, pure devotee or not, the mind is going to wander. How we try and bring the mind back is the characteristic of those who become pure devotees, who try to have nothing else but Krishna. This concentration, therefore, only a person who engages the senses always in the service of the Lord can control the mind and be fixed at the lotus feet of the Lord. This concentration of the mind upon the lotus feet of the Lord is called samadhi. Until one reaches the stage of samadhi or trance, he cannot understand the nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada defines this samadhi as very interesting. Within Vrindavan, he says samadhi is like Mother Yashoda, always busy. Sometimes we think samadhi means I go into the forest and I sit with eyes half closed and I concentrate on the tip of my nose and I've done all of these breathing exercises. And Srila Prabhupada says, in Vrindavan, samadhi is like Mother Yashoda, always busy. Keeping ourselves always ready for whatever Krishna might need. Constantly thinking, oh, what does our Krishna need? Oh, what has our Krishna done? Oh, just look at how my Krishna looks. That is samadhi. So if we think, I can't go to the forest and dedicate my life in this, it's fine. Samadhi doesn't always mean, that trance doesn't always mean that we are seated with eyes closed. That is possible for great personalities like Lord Shiva. Sometimes not possible for lesser personalities like us. Until one reaches the stage of samadhi or trance, he cannot understand the nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There may be some philosophers or scientists who can study the cosmic nature from atom to atom. They may be so advanced that they can count the atomic composition of the cosmic atmosphere, or all the planets and the stars in the sky, or even the shining molecular parts of the sun, or other stars and luminaries in the sky. But it is not possible to count the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Wow. That is Srila Prabhupada's poetry. That's a good one. I was just reflecting this morning on sometimes, you read and Srila Prabhupada is very scientific in what he says, and then sometimes you get glimpses of his poetic heart, and I think, this 70-year-old Bengali gentleman knows so many things. I love it. You could be able to count every atom in the universe and still we can't count the qualities of our supreme most dear friend. I like it. As described in the beginning of the Vedanta Sutra, the Supreme Person is the origin of all qualities. He is generally called Nirguna. Nirguna means without qualities. Guna means quality and Nir means without. But the impersonalists interpret this word Nirguna as having no quality because they are unable to estimate the qualities of the Lord in transcendental realization. They conclude that the Supreme Lord has no qualities, but that is actually not the position. The real position is that he is the original source of all qualities. All qualities are emanating constantly from him. How, therefore, can a limited person count the qualities of the Lord? One may estimate the qualities of the Lord for one moment, but the next moment the qualities are increased. So it is not possible to make an estimation of the transcendental qualities of the Lord. He is therefore called Nirguna. His qualities cannot be estimated. One should not uselessly labor in mental speculation to estimate the Lord's qualities. There is no need of adopting the speculative method or exercising the body to attain mystic yoga perfection. One should simply understand that the distress and happiness of this body are predestined. There is no need to try to avoid the distress of this bodily existence or to attempt to achieve happiness by different types of exercises. The best course is to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead with body, mind, and words, and always be engaged in his service. This transcendental labor is fruitful, but other attempts to understand the absolute truth are never successful. Therefore, an intelligent man does not try to understand the Supreme Person, absolute truth, by speculative or mystic power. Rather, he engages in devotional service and depends on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He knows that whatever may happen to the body is due to his past fruitive activities. If one lives such a simple life in devotional service, then automatically he can inherit the transcendental abode of the Lord. So now we might think, but there are things happening to this body, right? What do you mean, Srila Prabhupada? We shouldn't try to avoid it, the distress, and then work for that. Like, there are things happening to this body. It is uncomfortable. In the wintertime, we feel hot, well, cold. We feel cold in the wintertime and hot in the summertime. There are things happening to this body. What do? We should not think that surrender means that Krishna forgets all about us and our distresses. Our surrender is an acknowledgement that Krishna knows already. He knows we are embodied. He hasn't forgotten us. Surrender means now that I trust you, Krishna. I trust your judgment. I trust your love. I trust that you are working things out in my favor. Surrender means we trust Krishna to be our friend and well-wisher. So, it doesn't mean that we think, oh, nothing is going to happen to this body. It means that we know that Krishna is going to shelter us regardless. And I did not really understand that prayer. Lord Brahma will make that famous prayer in this chapter, within these prayers, that one who goes about their life offering their prayers to Krishna, even while enduring, persevering through the karma of this body, they become entitled to the mercy of Krishna, for it has become their rightful claim. And I didn't understand that. I didn't understand when you ask devotees, how are you doing? And they say, oh, I'm better than I deserve. I didn't understand it. And then recently, I was looking at my astrological chart. And I just came out of my Saturn return, which lasts sometimes 7, 8 years, 9 years. Saturn is a slow-moving planet. And Saturn often drags you willingly or unwillingly towards your karma and towards spiritual advancement. It is a very difficult time in life. It is a time where it almost feels like you are walking through quicksand, and the faster you try and move, the more intense the quicksand becomes. It is a slow-moving time. It is a time of great obstacles. It is a time of, usually no one prospers during that time. I wrote a book during that time, was given an award for the book during that time. Somehow the Lord decided to go internetly viral using me during that time. I met and came in contact with amazing people during that time. I felt as though I actually prospered so much during that time. And when I looked at it, I thought, that should not have happened. It peaked during 2020. And it says, this time comes with health challenges and all these different challenges and so many different challenges. But the Lord created a situation where the whole world was plagued with health challenges. So never did I feel like, why is this happening to me? I was just constantly seeing that there are so many things happening and the Lord has been sheltering me. I felt sheltered throughout this entire time, and I didn't even know that it was happening until it was over. I called my sister and I actually kind of like shed a tear. I was like, I finally understand when devotees say, I'm doing better than I deserve. Karmically, it should not have worked. But transcendentally, Krishna said, no problem. I've got your back, friend. He didn't even let me know about the obstacles that he was saving me from. I tell you, truthfully, he has saved me more times than I can count, because I don't even know about the times that he sheltered me with the umbrella of his mercy. This is what Lord Brahma is saying. Who can estimate the qualities of the Supreme Person? This is what Srila Prabhupada is saying. We cannot conceive of it, so we simply surrender. And it doesn't mean that Krishna has forgotten about us or our hardships. These hardships were meant to be harder, and Krishna is carrying us. Imagine, whatever we are going through in life, what if it was supposed to be 10 times worse? And Krishna has decided, I will not let my friend go through this. I will cover them with my very own mercy. I will carry them through it, lifting them up, dragging them if need be. Fine. Then, oh my Lord, tie me to you. All I can say is, tie me closer to you. I have nothing on my own. But with you, there is victory and adventure. There is romance hidden in the miracles. So don't think that Srila Prabhupada is telling you to forget your struggles. He's simply reminding us that Krishna already knows about them. And the more that we surrender, the more our friend carries us through and then reveals, look what I've done for you, friend. So let us not make the mistake of thinking, oh, Krishna, you've abandoned me. Look how much you've put me through. You've abandoned me. I mean, he does put us through a lot of things. That is going to happen. But he's not abandoning us. He is walking through it with us, clearing the way for us. The holy name is always clearing the way for us. How magnanimous is the heart of our friend. Okay. And because I promised, I want to end off with... Okay, wait. One last paragraph, because this is the best part. Actually, every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord and a son of the Godhead, or daughter. Doesn't matter. Each has the natural right to inherit and share the transcendental pleasures of the Lord. Everyone. You, me, ants, otters, everyone. Each has the natural right to inherit and share the transcendental pleasures of the Lord. But due to the contact of matter, conditioned living entities have been practically disinherited. Our contact with this material universe has stolen away our inheritance of mercy. I will spend my life trying to get that inheritance back. That's it. That's my life's mission. We have been disinherited by our contact with this material creation that makes us think this is my body, my friends, my country. my religion, when actually we are part and parcels of our Supreme Personality of Godhead. Our inherent right lies in understanding that fact. Don't let anything steal that away again. If one adopts the simple method of engaging himself in devotional service, automatically he becomes eligible to become freed from the material contamination and elevated to the transcendental position of associating with the Supreme Lord. That's our gift and our benediction today, friends. We have done it. We've engaged in devotional service this day. If we do nothing else, just this one moment, we can give our hearts, forget everything else for just 1 minute. Oh my Govinda, we give our hearts to you in just this one moment of devotional service with the hope of pleasing you, with the hope that maybe if we have pleased you, you will reveal yourself to us this day. We've done it. We are now able to claim our inheritance again. We can claim our rights. You have a right to Krishna's mercy. You have a right to Krishna's love. Now you go claim that right with the rest of this day. And because I promised, we'll hear a little bit from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur because it gets very, very sweet. So this is now Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 14, canto 10, chapter 14, text 1. Lord Brahma said, "My dear Lord, you are the only worshipable Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore I offer my humble obeisances and prayers just to please you. O son of the king of the cowherds, your transcendental body is dark blue like a new cloud. Your garment is brilliant like lightning, and the beauty of your face is enhanced by your gunja earrings and the peacock feather on your head. Wearing garlands of various forest flowers and leaves and equipped with a herding stick, a buffalo horn, and a flute, you stand beautifully with a morsel of food in your hand." Purport by our illustrious Acharya. This chapter relates how Brahma, though maintaining a mood of reverence, immersed himself in the great ocean of Krishna's sweetness. After praising Sri Krishna with great devotion mixed with knowledge, Brahma asks some questions. "I am not afraid if the real devotees who are relishing great bliss by collecting loads of jewels mock my stance of selling jewels, offering a few jewels. Meditating with determination solely upon the lotus feet of my Guru, my heart desires to cross the ocean of Brahma's prayers." I tell you, this man is top notch. How? Really? Really? You begin expounding on the prayers of others. "I am not afraid if the real devotees who are relishing great bliss by collecting loads of jewels mock my stance of selling jewels, of offering just a few. Meditating with determination solely upon the lotus feet of my Guru, my heart desires to cross the ocean of Brahma's prayers." Ah, that was the mood going into this. I cannot understand this on my own. Oh, gurus of mine, please help. It's like, I'm going to read this to people and I need your help now because otherwise I'm going to look really foolish. So I need you to make me look smart. And I feel as though he's been doing that all this week. So thank you. He's been really fulfilling the purport of all of this. Now Brahma has directly realized that Nandanandana is the source of all forms of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Having attained firm devotion at the lotus feet of Krishna, Brahma profusely praises the Lord. Brahma says, "My dear Vasudev, you are the source of countless forms and are the only worshipable Idya, Lord. You are glorified by everyone in the universe, from me down to the grass. Sweet. Even the grass glorifies Krishna. In order to attain you, I offer these praises unto you. Were simply to please you, I glorify you in verse. Your transcendental body, dark blue like a fresh rain cloud, is wrapped in a garment more brilliant than lightning. Brahma's words describing Krishna suggest two things. The earth gets relief from the scorching heat of summer through the cloud of Krishna's rain. And the Chataka bird, like devotees, sustain their lives with the mercy pouring from the rain cloud of Krishna. I told you this was gonna be sweet. The Chataka bird, like devotees, sustain their lives with the mercy pouring from the rain cloud of Krishna. Brahma continues. Gunjaberry earrings accent the beauty of your face. Flowers adorn your hair, and a peacock feather rests atop your head. Brahma's description reveals the superiority of the lowly gunjaberries of Braj to the precious jewels of Vaikuntha. Did you know you can't even eat gunjaberries? They're poisonous. They're poisonous. But they always adorn Sri Krishna. And so they're living their best lives. Who knew? My sister and I, she sent me a picture. There was somebody who had found something in their like can of tomato sauce. And they're like, bro, what even is this? And my sister sent me a picture and she goes, okay, now tell me what this looks like to you. And I was like, oh no, she's gonna think I'm a weirdo because it just looked like gunja berries. I was like, those look like gunja berries. She's like, me too, I thought that. And I was like, thank God for like-minded devotees. And so we're like, maybe we're just seeing Krishna everywhere. It actually turned out they were gunja berries. They happened to fall into somebody's tomato because somebody was like, don't eat those. They're poisonous, which I did know about gunjas. You know, I was like, how did you get gunja berries in your tomato sauce? So random. But Krishna's everywhere. Remembrance of him is everywhere. And so I will post a photo recently that I saw of a deity with cute little gunja berries in their decoration so that we can always remember the superiority of a poisonous berry to all of the precious jewels of Vaikuntha. It gives some hope for us. Maybe our hearts don't shine like those precious jewels in Vaikuntha. Maybe our hearts look a little bit like poisonous gunja berries. But Krishna says, no problem. I'll put them on my ears and my turban, on my garland. I'll adorn all of myself with them. Because that's our heart, offered to Krishna, no matter what it may be. The forest garland of wild flowers and leaves around Krishna's neck is superior to those made of the parijata flowers from Swargaloka. By mentioning the morsel of yogurt rice in Krishna's hand, his stick and horn, Brahma indicates the superiority of Krishna's cowherd boy form over all others. In mentioning Krishna's soft feet, mridu pade, Brahma indicates that those wandering in the forest of Vrindavan become filled with ecstasy upon seeing Krishna's footprints. By stating that Krishna is the son of a cowherd man, Pashupa Angajaya, Brahma shows the superior fortune of Nanda over Vasudeva. Text 2. My dear Lord, neither I nor anyone else can estimate the potency of this transcendental body of yours, which has shown such mercy to me, and which appears just to fulfill the desires of your pure devotees. Although my mind is completely withdrawn from material affairs, I cannot understand your personal form. How then could I possibly understand the happiness you experience within yourself? Purport. Hearing Brahma's praises, Krishna may object. Listen, Lord Brahma, you are the master of all powers in this universe, while I am but the son of a cowherd man in the forest. You are an ancient and exalted personality, and I am but a small boy. You are knowledgeable of all the Vedas and endowed with the most exemplary conduct. But I am an ignorant keeper of cows and so unaware of proper conduct, so much so that I run around with some yogurt rice in my hand. You are the Supreme Lord, full of bliss and the controller of all illusion, but I am bewildered by your illusion and wander about the forest grieving over lost calves. Thus, I'm not qualified for your praise. This is the glory of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. You get the inner workings of this little boy Krishna's mind. Fearing such objections from Krishna, Brahma spoke this verse, repenting for having offended Krishna due to his own ignorance. I cannot estimate, Avashitum, the greatness of your transcendental body, engaging in childish play, what to speak of your pastimes of youth, Kaishora. If I cannot understand the potency of your transcendental body, then how could I possibly understand the happiness you experience within yourself by herding calves? Like, this is not like intense, like celestial this is not like enlightened work. This is not rocket science. He's watching cows. And that's his greatest happiness. To watch my cows. And then I take them, and then they go eat, and then I call them with my flute, and then sometimes I call them by name. And then I play with my cows. And then I hug them, and then I stroke their faces, and then I milk them. And then I watch them drink milk. And then I brush them, and I decorate. Like, this is not a difficult job. And yet Krishna says, above any and all work, this is what I treasure the most. Yeah, like Brahma, I would be confused. Because this is the Supreme Person who can inhale all of the universes and then exhale them out again. The source of even him. He spent a long time, celestial years, searching for the end of that lotus that he was born on, and still could not find it. He had to do tapasya to even begin to understand Krishna in the form of this Brahma Samhita, these Gayatri mantras, which were then imparted through the sound of that cowherd boy's flute. Inconceivable. And this is the job that he wants above all others? To watch calves and brush them and hug them, to take a nap with them. I cannot comprehend the happiness your cowherd friends feel, what to speak of the happiness you experience by directly playing with them. If a person with a controlled mind cannot understand that happiness, what can be said of those with uncontrolled minds? In this way, Brahma expressed 5 levels of ignorance. Brahma described Krishna's body in this way to prove that the Supreme Lord cannot be understood by yoga, austerity, or shastric study. Krishna is understood only by mercy. Brahma continued, my Lord, although I offended you, due to your magnanimity, you have shown such mercy to me. That mercy consisted of revealing your sweet human form after showing your awesome Vishnu Murtis. What is the cause of that mercy? Your body is Swa-icha Maya. It appears in response to the desires of your pure devotees who want to see and serve you. Krishna's form that we hold dear has appeared simply because we hold it dear. The cause of his mercy, his body, appears in response to the desires of your pure devotees who want to see and serve you. These deities have appeared for us because of the desires within our hearts and within the hearts of our spiritual masters. Let us go and cling tight to all of those deities. They appeared because we had some desire in our hearts. Friends, we are not quite as fallen as we might think. Somewhere deep in there was a desire to see Krishna, hear of him, know him, and thus we are here. We are here. Krishna has appeared even within the form of this Srimad Bhagavatam due to our desires, our eagerness, just to see him face to face through our ears. Let us take these words into our hearts and embrace our Krishna. You show mercy out of affection for your devotees. Though I am an offender because I have a semblance of devotion, I've become qualified to receive a drop of your mercy? That's us. Maybe we don't have big devotion, but we have some shadow of a semblance of devotion. And one drop of Krishna's mercy is enough to transform our entire existence. Patiently listening to Brahma, Krishna replied, "But to fulfill desires and show mercy are traits of human beings also." Brahma responded, "But my lord, your body is not material. Your body is spiritual. Brahma Samhita says, Angani yasya sakalendriya vrittimanti, pashyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti. Every part of Krishna's body has all the potencies of other parts of the body. This verse shows not only that Lord Krishna can perform any bodily function with any of his limbs, but also that he can see through the eyes of his Vishnu expansions, and similarly that he can hear through the ears of any Vishnu expansion. Although the Lord can perform any function with any of his senses, in his transcendental pastimes, as Govinda, he generally sees with his eyes, touches with his hands, and hears with his ears. Thus Krishna acts like the most beautiful and charming young cowherd boy. Brahma continued, "My lord, you have shown me the form of Vasudev, Deva Vapu, who bestowed mercy, Mad Anugrahasya, by teaching me the 4 verses Chatur Sloki of the Bhagavatam. To fulfill your desires, Ichamaya, your transcendental body is the source of these Vasudev forms. Though your body fulfills your desires, it is spiritual, and not like our bodies, which are products of matter. I cannot estimate the potency of your spiritual body, even though I have revealed the Vedas and studied the fruit of the Vedas, Srimad Bhagavatam. I cannot even understand the greatness of your Vasudev forms. What to speak of the greatness of the original source of those transcendental forms, the 2-armed form of Govinda. In this topmost of transcendental forms, as an innocent cowherd boy, you intensely relish the pastimes of stealing butter, drinking the gopis' breast milk, tending the calves, playing your flute, and enjoying your childhood pranks, which are extraordinary, even in comparison with the activities of your Vishnu expansions." They say that Sri Krishna has 64 qualities, and all of the rest of the Vishnu expansions only have 60. These extra 4 qualities are a testament to his loving pastimes, his beautiful appearance, his wonderful flute playing, his mind captivating. He is just. Lord Nrsimha doesn't play pranks. Lord Ram does not play pranks. However, Krishna is going to play pranks. He is going to have the sweetest, most intense loving relationships and pastimes. Krishna's heart is so magnanimous. And why is he going to play pranks? Why is he going to perform mischief in our lives? Because ultimately, we want it. As much as we say, "Oh, Krishna, I don't want it. Leave your pranks at home, please. Just tell me straight. Tell me for certain what I need to do." He knows we want it. There is nothing sweeter than the Lord of the universe treating us as one of his own by causing trouble in our lives. That's how he treats his own people. If we want to become one of the Lord's own people, then we know he comes with pranks. He is a prankster. He is also the sweetest little boy, the most enchanting youth. He is the supreme beloved of every heart. Who, with a thinking mind, could hold that mind steady, even having once experienced the mercy of Govinda? We've all experienced that mercy. It's there, even if it feels hidden. It's there. I promise. Um, and as we have that mercy, let us help it to remind us that Krishna is always there. Krishna is always within our lives. Krishna will never forsake us. How incredible. He keeps appearing in ever new forms and disguises because we keep saying, you know what? I've had enough of this surrender business. Maybe you should leave me alone for a while. And says, okay. And then he shows up in another disguise. How? Who is this boy? This master of disguise? Who keeps sneaking his way into my life and my mind and my heart? I'm not sure if I can conceive of who this boy is, but I don't actually ever want him to leave. So I tell my Lord, stop listening to me. Do not listen to me anymore when I say, I think I've had enough of this surrender. You can leave me alone now. It's a lie. I don't know what's good for me. Be stubborn. Be persistent. Don't ever leave me, even if I tell you to go away. So I'll end with a poem from Premamala. Let's see. Since we were talking about Chataka birds, living off the rain cloud of Krishna's mercy, this poem is called Little Bird. You are the monsoon cloud. Your color, your form, the vastness of your heart has filled the sky of my existence. I am your eagerly waiting little bird, calling out for you, thirsty for a glimpse of you. Send your rain of mercy. Let it rain down on me. At the first rumblings of thunder, my heart soars with anticipation. My pulse quickens. With the darkening of the sky, I lift my gaze upward. My path unobstructed, I turn my face toward your flow of grace and await the downpour. That's it. It's as simple as that. All we have to do is turn our face toward the rain cloud of Krishna's mercy and wait. We expect it. So tomorrow I'll start by reciting that famous verse of expecting Krishna's mercy, even while enduring all of the trials and tribulations of this life. Because we are enduring them. Endurance means that we have not died yet. So if we have not died, then we have not given up. So we are enduring. This is tapasya. Going through life and all of the troubles of it is your tapasya, friends. And I commend you for it. I congratulate you for going through that tapasya every day. We are going through sometimes unspeakable things. So my heart goes out to you. Even while I congratulate you and I welcome you into the assembly where now we expect Krishna's mercy. Why? Because having endured all these trials and tribulations, it is our inheritance. Claim your birthright. It is now time that we step into that mindset where we claim our birthright of Krishna's mercy. It is ours for the taking. Can we surrender and allow Krishna to love us? I am eagerly ready to see you all tomorrow. Same time, same place. We'll continue through these wonderful prayers of Brahma, which have never been as sweet. These are like, it's been like a buffet right now that is happening. And I'm really grateful because it means that Krishna is reciprocating with his mercy. So all we need is a little eagerness. Thank you all for being here. You all are giving me life by being eager to hear of these pastimes. You are giving me purpose, and I am forever indebted to all of you. So I'll see you all again tomorrow. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Vaishnav Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Krishna Book ki jai, Lord Brahma ki jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. All glories to our Lord Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. All glories to all of you and all of the unlimited groups of Vaishnavas listening now or in the future. All glories to Krishna's unlimited mercy. All glories to that downpour of mercy that will be waiting for us. See you for another pilgrimage again tomorrow. Virtual Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Love you all. See you all soon. Hare Krishna. Hare Bo. Jai Shri Radha Govind Dev ki